I have 4 kids total. I had 2 sons from a previous marriage and then a subsequent divorce. And then I remarried in 2000 and I have 8-year-old twins and currently with my wife raising those twins. Well, my experience in raising kids as a single father was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. But it was the most impactful thing that I've ever had occur in my life. My wife at the time had become addicted to crack cocaine. And over the years, especially in the newness of the notoriety of the effects of the drug, I did not have a clue. If you can imagine, back in the 1980s. And when I found myself in a position where I had to make them the priority, then I took the necessary steps and raised them. We were known as the Carter Boys. As they grew, we did pretty much everything together. I mean, we were notorious in the neighborhood. Whenever you wanted a 3-on-3, the Carter Boys was ready to roll. We all knew our roles. My oldest son was a banger. He would post up. Dad would be out on the wing, Splash, one of the Splash brothers, popping 3-pointers. My middle son was a slasher. He liked to slash, and so we understood our roles, and it got to a point where we kind of knew what the other person was thinking. We actually had a lot of victories that tend to remain with them as a great memory, even to the point where I remember when I got married for the second time, my oldest son was my best man, and when he got up to make the toast, one of the things he said is that he regret that it won't be the Carter Boys anymore. So I know all those activities that we always did together is one of the greatest memories that I can have with my 2 older sons. What I found is that the way I was brought up in a strict disciplinarian way is not necessarily the way I would prescribe parents to use today. What I feel is that love compels the type of response more so than fear. My first set of kids feared me. The kids today, what I've taught them is not to fear me, but fear the consequence of their choices. There's a difference. When you implement the fear of consequences as opposed to fear of the individual, it allows your child to be creative. It allows them to expound certain creative boundaries. It allows them to feel confident because sometimes fearing a person can, in my opinion, limit another person's or a child's ability to achieve and go beyond each milestone of achievement. Currently, my youngest daughter is playing piano and violin, and she's been playing for probably about a year. I've had instructors tell me that she is a prodigy. She has a perfect pitch, which is amazing. If you knew her story, you would really be so elated because she was diagnosed with autism at 22 months. My son is a future drummer. My wife is also a musician. She plays piano, and in high school she played trumpet. And one day I said to myself, well, look, this trumpet's sitting here. Either we're going to pawn it or I'm going to play it. So guess what? I played it. So I've been playing trumpet for probably about 2 months. We had a chance to share a duet in a recital this past week. And watching my daughter play her violin, her piano, watching my wife play piano, and then we were the last act. And to have my son and myself, and we were accompanied by the instructor. When it was over, we probably had about 100 people in the room. The applause, just seeing the gratification on my son's face, the elation on my wife and my kids. It was just an amazing moment that I'll never forget, and they'll never forget, most importantly. So